So if you're a contractor or any kind of a trades worker, you probably have heard of or have and maybe just seen the Milwaukee Packout system. Very sweet system, very, very popular. You may have also heard of the vacuum that is in this lineup, and this is something that we have added to our Milwaukee Packout lineup. So is it worth it? Is it really worth it for you to add this to your Milwaukee Packout lineup, or is it just a gimmick? So when you get this, the first thing you're gonna think about is that it's big. It's pretty good size, and the Milwaukee regular vacuum is small. I think part of the reason it's so big is maybe just so that it can fit in the Milwaukee Packout system seamlessly. I don't really know. Maybe it's just so that they could have more dirt storage. I don't really know for sure. So before we get into the suction testing and whether it actually can suck up dirt like it should be, I'm just going to kind of go over some of the nitty-gritties of it. You open this up, and this is how it comes with the hose wrapped around like this, and that clips in nicely. You open this up, and you've got the tight little thinger fitting. You've got the wider fitting where you're doing bigger areas for less suction, and then obviously the compartment for the battery. And this compartment, you can fit, a little difficult to get batteries out of there, but you can fit big or small batteries in there, and it just drops straight down in. And then you just close this up. The hose can get in the way of these buckles some, but one thing worth noting that is nice is that even if you have these loose, the handle still works. The handle is not fastened to the lid, which is really nice. Just subtle, but nice. So you've got the vacuum, and then it also does have the blower function. So it has a locking mechanism. You can just hit this over, and it comes out of there, and then you can attach it to the opposite side for the blowing function. We have never even used that. And that just locks in there. And this is the on-off button. They have a low and a high. No idea why, but they do. And then you just hit it. Now this does also have the tip protection thing, so if you tip it over, it does go wild. And it stops sucking the air at all. There's no suction. And to get that to reset, you just turn it off, and you can hear the ball drop. You can hear it just boom, drop down in. And then you're good to go, start it off again. So this pretty seamlessly just clips right into any Milwaukee Packout system that you got. It snaps in, and it's in there completely sturdy. We do actually have a little bit more inclusive video on just the Packout system in general. That'll be in the description in case you're interested. But yeah, it works very good with that. That is the reason we have this vacuum specifically and not a different style. It's strictly for that, so we can hook it to this with all our other tools and carry it into a house. It also has these clips that you can unclip on each side, and then this lifts out, and that's where all your dust is kept. And then it also has your filter right here, and that just unclips. That needs to be cleaned out really badly. Okay, that's gonna be cleaned out right now. As far as the actual functionality and what it's really supposed to be doing, it's supposed to suck. So how badly does it suck? So in my personal opinion, it does kind of suck. And by that I mean it doesn't suck.
Yeah, you're gonna genuinely confuse me.
I'm genuinely confused. But really, the suction is not super great. It's plenty for what we use it for, which is cleaning up, just sweeping out cabinets and kind of mostly just dust and sawdust, things like that. We're not sweeping a lot of heavy debris, but we used to have a portable shop vac, and that did have a bit more suction than what this does. But this is still worth it to us because of the portability of the battery and also the Packout function. So I'm gonna just start with kind of this really light sawdust, and you'll just be able to see how quickly it kind of sucks that up. I'll do a little bit with this, and then a little bit with the bigger attachment. The bigger attachment does significantly decrease the suction power, and then I'll work to a little bit of a heavier dust, and then finally just some screws to show you that it does actually have some power. So really, it's pretty quick. I mean, it really doesn't have any problem sucking this right up. But it does have a bit of a heavier suction, and tight corners, anything, you're definitely going to want to stick with without the attachment. A lot more power. This is a bit heavier, but really no problem there either. Really just not an issue when it comes to sucking that up. And then you can use this for the finer stuff to just really get rid of any dust. Cover bigger areas or floors or whatever. And then for the heavier screws, so it really doesn't suck it up at all with the attachment. Without the attachment, it actually does. And it sucks these up no problem. And those all went in eventually. It takes a little bit of time, but it does suck them up. They're still going in. So it does have quite a bit of suction, but there's definitely more. If you're looking for really, really heavy suction for, I don't know what you would be sweeping up exactly, but harder dust or dirt buildup on the floor, whatever, out of little crevices, this is not going to be for you. This is not what you're going to want. If you do have the Milwaukee Packout system and you have a bunch of the Milwaukee Packout tools, I would highly consider getting this vacuum just so you can throw it in with your whole system, carry it into the house with all your other tools. If you don't have the Milwaukee Packout system, I do not recommend. It's a little bit more expensive than the normal vacuum. It's a little bit bigger, more clumsy, and there's no extra suction power to it or anything from what I know. So I would just stick to the normal one. Unless you have the Milwaukee Packout system, I think it could be a good thing for you. So yeah, that was a quick run over of what this vacuum does. Hope you found it semi-helpful. And yeah, we seem to like it, and maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. That's for you to decide. You can just move on to the Milwaukee Packout review. A little bit more inclusive review of that. Thank you for watching.